Okay, so basically, where are we? We are on week 3 of the mentoring sessions. So basically, just to recap, um, we are somewhere around here in the term, so at the end of week 3. And the goal is now to go through the initial ideas, like the top 3 ideas from each person. And then next week, talk about the actual proposals. So what I would like you all to think about today is, as we're discussing ideas, to really think about, hey, is this the type of project that I would like to collaborate on? Because now is a good time to find teammates. So one of the things that I would like you guys to do is, I don't know, it's a little silly, but maybe write down the names of the folks that you're interested in potentially working with. Or here's a new idea. How about in this, you could have, collaborators, and then you could just list your, first, last name, and then, I don't know, level of interest, like 5 out of 5, like, this could be one way to sort of say, hey, I'd love to collaborate. So basically, all of you guys should hopefully have access to this document. So as we're going through each of these ideas, you can just enter your interest in it. Okay, so let's do a quick poll. Who thinks this is a good idea about doing this? So entering people's names. Okay, good. I like that. This is great. Actually, it's a little more balanced. So 5, 9, 12, 5, 1. So yeah, not everybody's super excited, but there's like more positive than negative. So I mean, another option might be to simply write down the names of folks and then somehow have breakouts that could focus on those projects. So anyway, so basically that's sort of looking ahead at the team project proposal. So basically what we want to do for round 4, which is next week, is to already have some kind of idea of what kind of proposals would you like to work on. So basically, based on the feedback from today, I encourage people who have proposed ideas that have a lot of positive interest from the staff to basically flesh them out and potentially look for partners. But I also encourage other folks to sort of reach out to them and look for partnerships. So what you should focus on for next week is basically, as much as possible, have full-fledged project that you can propose. Basically, the goal is to have available data, to have available techniques that you can either develop or build on, and then sort of list the relevant lectures, work on the design and methods, and then propose some kind of timeline for what it would take to sort of make that project feasible. Again, building on the ideas that have the sort of strongest interest from today. So you should also note what are available computational resources that you have, mentors that you can, so basically mentorship match, Bug, Professor Kelly's about this. And then the personnel, that's like the team members and your expertise. So basically the resources are, number 1, computational, number 2, biological, so basically available data sets, and then number 3, personnel expertise and previous projects, etc. And then what is your missing expertise? You should also sort of identify, hey, we're also looking for this type of expertise. So again, as we're going through each of those projects, remember that you guys have access to all of the, detailed descriptions that each student has made, but also the profile that every student has uploaded. So basically, as you sort of say, oh yeah, well, cool, this is a cool proposal, I would love to collaborate with this person, you can basically go and look at their profile and say, okay, how can I help complement their profile? They seem to be, a good match for what I'm looking for, okay? And of course, you can watch their video introduction and so on and so forth. So that's for round 4. Basically, the goal is to sort of propose projects that have good, strong foundations. And then, of course, as I mentioned from the very first mentoring session, you should look for projects that are original, challenging, relevant, that you can actually achieve. So challenging, but not impossible. And then, you know, always focus on your presentation. So basically, here's some examples that you can build on. And you can also look for the list of papers that everybody had proposed for, let's see, previous paper, for their, you know, second week, or week, yeah, the second week handout turning. Okay, so that's the goal. So basically, as you were building your top 3 ideas for today, these are the comments that you hopefully looked at. And then these are also the comments that apply as you're building your round 4 proposals. And then again, we're going to have breakout sessions, just like we did on Monday. We're going to have more breakouts this coming Monday for teams to really form, to basically sort of get to know each other. But again, you have, let's see, sorry for picking on you, Joseph. You were just simply the first profile, but you have everybody's email address. So reach out to them, connect, and, you know, sort of build teams between now and next Friday. So let's see, a quick poll. So who has already made progress on building their teams? So basically, A, I have already chosen team and project. B, I have started offline connections with potential teammates. C, I have some ideas from our chats, but haven't reached out offline yet. And then D, I haven't started thinking about teammates. Okay, so let's do a poll. So let's see. Oh, that's wonderful. Good. That's exactly the stage that you should be at. So basically, we mostly have Bs, but not too many As and not too many Cs and Ds, which is exactly what you should be. So I don't expect anyone to have already chosen their team and project at this stage. I think it's a little too early. After today, however, that's the week when you should be doing this. So hopefully by now you know your classmates enough through the various random breakouts and through all of the presentations that you guys have been giving so that you can actually start forming teams. So these are the results so far. So 3, 16, 9, 8, 0. Okay. So basically, most people have started some offline connections, and it's great to have some offline connections, but not for form the teams yet. Okay, so let's go back to. Okay, so again, your goal is to sort of practice building proposals. And what do you need when you build proposals? You need to be convincing, you need to sort of be capable, and you need to be sort of well posed. So what does that mean? That means that typically for NIH proposals or for fellowships, you have to show some preliminary results that convince the reviewer of the feasibility of your approach. You have to show milestones that detail what you'll accomplish by specific dates. You'll need to know how you will measure progress towards your goals. And you need to know what are the expected results for the final report. So you have to somehow anticipate what are the things that you're going to learn, even though you haven't yet done the study. And you can consult previous project proposals from previous years. You didn't really want to, as formatting and content examples. And then the other thing that's actually really helpful is to write out what are all of the tasks that your project will entail. Basically, you probably don't know all of the tasks now, but if you're thinking about sort of integrating this data set and that data set and data set, just lay out the task and basically have some estimate for how long are they going to take, how many hours. So basically estimate, sort of the number of hours for each of those and how important each of those is, because you might sort of realize that something is extremely laborious, but maybe not that important. And then who in your team will be working on it. And then again, think about this a lot. It's not just to make us happy, it's to help you in the planning and execution of your project. And then next to each task, you should also say roughly when will it happen. So this is just a snapshot from one of our grants, where we basically say in each quarter of each year, here's what we're going to do. And it's a very powerful approach to basically say that's when I'm hoping to start and that's when I'm hoping to finish each of the tasks and how long it's going to take. And then you should write the how long, I don't know, on a separate column on the left, because that can also identify dependencies between tasks. Like don't leave until, I don't know, week 7, something that a lot of other stuff will depend on. And then you can use a different color for each student to know which team each team will be working on. And then you should use somewhere between 20 and 40 tasks. Don't just break up every single download that you're going to do, and don't simply say, write code, because that's a pretty big item. So you should sort of break it up into sort of procedures and subsets of tasks. So. And then I urge you to, each of you already, like now, create a Google Doc that will eventually become your final project. So if you watch my lecture on how to write, which is already, of course, on the web, you will see that one of the things that I really sort of urge students to do is write first, ask questions later. So basically, don't just like spend 10 weeks doing exploratory analysis, and in the end, like the last 2-3 weeks, sort of, come up with everything together. Instead, you should create already the outline and sort of, the document, and work backwards from the paper and sort of figure out what needs to be done using this sort of, from the report back approach rather than from the research forward approach. I know it's a little strange, it's a little unusual, but you will see that it will actually force you to focus on the most relevant tasks. So in this Google Doc, you can already start entering a formal introduction to the field. You can just, write your intro already. You can actually start building already your references to the state of the art as you're going through this. And for this, I really encourage you to use PaperPile in Google Docs. It's an outstanding, for in Chrome for managing citations. So, you can at any point type Control-Alt-P and then search, I don't know, Ernst Kellis or something, and it will just find, papers, and then you can just select one and then add the citation, and boom, it already inserted the citation in the middle of the Google Doc. And then you can go into PaperPile, format citations, and it will format the citations for you, create a bibliography, etc. So it's perfect for collaboration and for sort of managing interactions. It was actually developed by a former member of my lab, but I only started using it after hundreds of users were already swearing by it. So it's not because I'm biased.
Is PaperPile mandatory?
Sorry?
Is PaperPile mandatory?
No. Just recommend.
I've used it for a couple of years, but I've had trouble with it getting corrupted if I invite a user who doesn't have PaperPile set up as an add-on for their browser.
I see. And then it messes your usage.
Messes mine up, and that's been a problem when it's great until then I have I'm submitting a manuscript, and then I have to simulate PaperPile.
Oh, that's
so
insane.
I had one bad experience. That's probably my fault. Yeah. And I'm
here. So his name is Stefan Washidl. You can contact him, and I'm sure he'll.
Yes. Thank you.
The advantage of having a close friend who developed it is.
Okay, you sold me. I'm willing to give it another try.
Yeah, give it another chance, and I can see how someone could potentially break it if they really tried. And I can see how not having it installed and messing with the citations would probably lead to that, because they basically are using these kinds of embeddings of URLs and sort of reformatting them, etc. So I can kind of see how somebody could potentially mess with it. My guess is that it was one or maybe probably just one citation that was just off, and then you could fix it that way.
Yeah.
So then you can describe previous papers. You can sort of have a detailed statement of what is not known and what are the big questions. And then, and then create a Google Doc or a live editable document that you'll be using for editing. And then share the Google Doc with, you know, probably me as an editor, and then link that Google Doc for you know, everyone to be able to eventually link into it. So again, we're using honor code here. Everybody's sort of responsible for not sort of stealing each other's ideas, and I hope that you're busy enough with your project that you're not going to be going off and stealing your classmates' ideas. And then again, that's a recommendation to use paper file citations. Okay, so again, here's some examples, and you know, from previous years. And then here's some advice again for how to present and how to write. And then you can kind of see this as a way to do that. And then what we ask you to do by next week is create a set of slides, create you know, Google Doc just as a basis, and then record a video, ideally with your classmates, with your teammates, that basically presents the project. So basically, you know, Zoom allows you to do that. So basically you can just all sort of go on Zoom. And then something totally awesomely cool is that you can actually give remote control to others as you're, you know, controlling your screen. Like for example, I can auto accept now all requests. So you guys can actually go ahead and request remote control for my computer, and then you'll be able to move my mouse. And the cool thing doing that is that, you know, go ahead and try it. Please don't break everything, but you can go ahead and try it. The cool thing with doing that is that you can have multiple people presenting from a single computer, and then each person can be moving the mouse to sort of explain what you're going through. So you can sort of use Google Sheets to make a single presentation, and then, you know, present. I mean, what's really horrible about Google Sheets is that I have no idea how to remove that bottom panel as you're presenting. If anybody knows how to sort of stop that from appearing, every time you point to the bottom of your slide, you're going to have, you know, a big box that appears. If you guys figure it out, let me know how to remove it, and then we'll have that out of the way. But basically, again, the goal is for you guys to practice doing all of this, practice working together. Oh, it says remote control. Cool. So somebody's controlling my screen right now. This is great. Yeah, there you go. Somebody's moving my mouse. This is awesome. Look, guys, I have no hands. Very cool. So yeah, I mean, I've basically said auto accept all requests. So the person who's sharing their screen can basically do that, and then the others can sort of join in so that you don't have to worry about that. Okay. Okay. So, and then record the video, make a group video presentation, share the slides, and also show your faces. I think this is very important. As you're sort of, you know, sharing your video, show your faces, and then describe the different parts, and then divide the presentation among the team members. And then lastly, show excitement, show enthusiasm, speak clearly. That's all important. So basically, I think, you know, presentation matters. And then of course, upload the video, and I'll put the link there. And then you know, I'll probably give you some initial feedback, but the most important part will be the peer review, and that's round 5 next week. So after you guys submit your round 4 team proposals, then each person will be assigned, I think, 3 teams to review. So every student in the class will actually get to provide, you know, constructive feedback for every one of the other teams. And then the reason is twofold. Basically, first, thoughtful feedback from others can improve and enhance your project experience when it's received at an early stage. Notice how early in the term we're doing all this. You're probably all thinking, I have to drop this class, there's so much work. But trust me, we are saving you time when all of the other classes are going to be piling on with stuff, because right now you're really getting a head start. You really sort of are, you know, building onto this project experience, you know, with a really head start. So that's the first benefit. Basically, you as recipients of feedback will gain from this. Number two, you as givers of feedback will benefit from this. So reading and thinking critically about other proposals exposes you to new areas of computational biology, so you'll learn, but it also enhances your research and project planning ability. So number one, you can see how did other teams, sort of form their proposal. And number two, you can sort of, get ideas about, we should probably think about that aspect that we haven't thought about. And what's really cool is that among the 3 team members of your team, you will each have, quote unquote, peer-reviewed 3 other teams. So there will be 9 teams worth of project proposal experience that will be flowing back into ideas for your own team. So next time you have your team meeting, each person will be able to say, hey, how about we do this? And how about we do that? Because I sort of saw this type of, thing in another proposal. So I think it's very, very helpful to do that. So first of all, on round 4, before I go too far into round 5, who's clear about what we need to do for round 4? So basically for round 4, we need to do 3 things. Number 1, create your Google Doc and at will start writing introduction, background, etc. Okay, that's at will. You don't have to do that this week, but please create the Google Doc this week because it helps you think about it. Number 2, create a set of slides that sort of describe your project. And number 3, create a video where all 3 teammates will describe the project. And that's very important because you will very, very quickly realize who does or doesn't carry their part in doing a proposal and in doing a project. So, all right. So who's with me so far on sort of what we need for round 4? Awesome. Very cool. Okay, so 2362. And then the last thing, who's actually excited about all this? Basically, I know it's like a lot of work, but who's happy that we're doing this and that you guys are sort of doing research in computational biology? This is awesome. So yeah, this is great. So okay, we have 11, 13, 7, 1, 1. So yeah, 2 people are not super happy about it, but everyone else is very, very happy about it. Again, all of these are anonymous, so basically feel free to be honest about this. Okay, so that's for round 4. That's what's going to be due next week. And then now for round 5, the reason why I'm sort of focusing on round 5 already is because it's important for you guys to know what's coming ahead and to think about what are the criteria that your project will be evaluated on. So basically, very often we are too shy to share our project and our ideas with other people. And then overcoming this shyness and know that it's not just like, professor and 3 TAs who are going to be looking at this, but there's going to be like, 9 or, yes, gosh, 9 peer reviewers. I think that's, that basically says, all right, well, I'm writing to be understood. And I think that's a very different mindset than I'm writing to fulfill a requirement. So if I'm writing to be understood, basically, I will probably write very differently. So, and then we might do or we might not do the panel discussion. It's something that we've done in the past, and I think we will try to figure out how to do it with Zoom, and I think the breakouts will probably help very much. But assume for now that we will try and we will figure out how to do the panel review. And then after that, you will basically incorporate the feedback in, I think that's incorrect, so round 7, I think is that, and round 8 is this. And I think round 6 is revised proposal. Yeah, perfect. So basically, you still have, more or less 2 weeks before you finalize your project. Don't think that week 6 is sorry, don't think that round 4 is the end of it. Round 4 is when you have your initial proposal, but then week 5, you will already receive review on it. And week 6 is when you will have your revised proposal. And frankly, that's not a major milestone. Many of you guys will be done by that by week 5 as soon as you receive the feedback. But the next milestone after that is really just an initial end-to-end pipeline that basically says, yes, I can run my code. Yes, I have some skeleton. Yes, I have all of the data sets ready. Okay, so okay, let's do a quick poll as to, first of all, who's with me on what needs to be done on the round 5 peer review. Very cool. Okay, so 1910-300. And then let me just do a quick pool of how do you guys feel about this? A, too much work, this is crazy. B, it's a lot, but it's great to be doing it early. C, maybe we could have spaced it out a bit more, you know, and go till week 10 before finalizing the proposals. D, I'm actually really enjoying this experience and learning a lot. All right, remember, this is anonymous. You can actually be honest about this. And if it really sucks, please tell us, because we should know. So please be honest. You're not gonna make, I mean, you will make me feel bad, but don't worry about making me feel bad. This is awesome. You guys are being honest. Oh no, there's some people who are, oh, well, gosh, it's a battle. It's really tight. Okay, we have 34 responders, 35. We have 2 people who haven't responded. I'll stop the poll. 3, 2, 1, stop it. Okay. All right, the moment of honesty. So
well, I chose option A on accident because in general, the polls have been excited is the first choice, and then less excited is the later choice, and like understanding is the first choice. So like in general, do you see how my heuristic was just like, oh, strong agree, click the first option.
Okay, I'm gonna restart the poll just because of you. We've written down the answers, but now everybody has a chance to vote again. This is now gonna be a biased poll because people have the answers. But we're starting again. And by the way, it's multiple choice, so you can actually choose multiple answers. Okay, so it wasn't, it's not that different. So 16, 13, 19, 5. Yeah, so yeah, basically there's very little change. So what does that say? So basically that says that maybe we could have spaced it out a bit more, go to week 10 before finalizing proposals. Yeah, I guess a lot of people feel that. And then too much work, this is crazy. So my trusted TAs, should we somehow mellow things out a little bit, or what should we do? Continue the course. When I say course, I actually mean like on a boat. So Tessa, Daman.
I mean, I feel like I'm kind of biased because in the sense that we did like a very similar schedule last semester or last year. I think it might be, I can understand like students like worries with it being like all online because it might be a lot harder to like coordinate things with like partners and stuff. So it might be like harder. Overall, I still feel like it's like early enough into the semester. But I don't know, maybe Daman has differing opinions.
Yeah, so Thomas, that's a very good point. So Thomas is saying, can I vote for, I don't think we should postpone the work if it's the same amount of work. So all right, let's choose a few options. So basically A is postpone project proposals by 1 week, keep all else the same. B, it's just have the project proposals and don't worry about peer review. C, you know, don't bother with any milestones. Trust us. We'll do great projects. What are some other options, guys? So postpone, just have them, don't worry about peer review.
Another option is postpone and then accept substandard unfinished projects during finals, because that's what happens in HST 508.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think you guys will be so happy. I'm like a dad. I'm like, you know, I know you don't like doing your homework, but it's good for you. Or I know you don't like eating salad. You prefer desserts. All right, so I can only think of 3 options. Daman, can you think of any other options? Tessa, Brian, where's Brian? That's one, keep it the way. Oh yeah, there we go. D, keep it the way it is. All right, so we have our 4 options here. I know that every poll has 5, but it's always to test you. So relaunch the polling. There you go. So
I think one thing to consider is that last year we had teams of 2 and this year it's teams of 3. So maybe if we like keep the expectations similar, then it's like slightly less work per person.
That's exactly my goal. No, that's exactly my goal. So and again, I'm overcompensating for the fact that we're all online and sort of, you know, really doing things to bring you guys closer and to really feel like a team. So, okay. It seems that a lot of people are voting for options A and D. So A is postpone project proposal by 1 week, keep all else the same. And D is keep it the way it is. I do feel that postponing the project proposal by 1 week is not a bad idea. I think sort of giving people just like 1 more week. And then we can do the peer review within 1 week. We can just have peer reviews due on Wednesday and then, you know, sort of revisions due on Friday or something like that. Or peer reviews due on Monday and then revisions due on Friday. I think that's probably a better idea. Okay, so the answers are 21, 5, 1, 12. Oh, I'm sorry. and there's you know, 1 for an option that didn't exist. So I know somebody who's not paying attention. Okay, so let's do that. I really like this idea. So basically what we're gonna do is have round 5. So basically we're gonna give you guys 1 more week to do the proposals, which makes total sense. I think, let's see. So these are due week 5, Friday. So basically we have 2 weeks from now. And then round 5 is the peer review due week 6, Tuesday. And then round 6 is due week 6, Friday. There you go. So you basically have way more time to sort of create the proposals. You have now 2 weeks to find teammates, create proposals, etc. And then find mentors, get feedback by your mentors, etc. And then when the team proposals are done, so you basically now have 2 weeks, you will then have 3 days to basically, you know, so basically Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so 4 days, to sort of write your critiques. And then you will have, you know, 4 days to incorporate the feedback. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay. And then we could potentially do the peer, so what do they call it? The panel discussion. Yeah. So study section. Panel discussion on week 6 on Wednesday, where we can basically
Professor Kellis, are you there? We can't hear you if you're speaking. Would people find it helpful to go into breakout rooms to discuss potential teams? Or is there anything you guys want to do while we're waiting?
I think that's a great idea.
All right, I'm gonna put you guys into random breakout rooms.
Work, Dom. Oh wait, he's back.
Oh, Professor Kellis, are you there?
Oh, never mind. He might have left. Oh yeah.
Oh yes.